Welcome everybody. We'll be talking about Blender Kit and how easy it is to use. You can go over to blenderkit.com and you can create an account for free. You can just ride out with a free account, or you can do a pay, which is a lot better because you're going to get all of those high quality models and then all the different categories in many hundreds of them. You'll get materials, you'll get scenes, and you'll be able to set up your own lists and different things like that. So let's jump right in. So if you wanted to buy a full plan, you could. You get the 0 for free, $9 a month. And I'm not getting paid for this, guys. I just love Blender Kit. And you get the business one for $25 a month. Now you can scoot over here and see what that's going to get you. And it's many thousands of models. So 10,000 here, 9,000 materials, 26,000 for $9. And then, of course, everything kind of goes up from there. You'll get more gigabyte of storage to go ahead and store certain things like your favorites. So let's switch right over. Now, I believe I already logged in. Let's double check that. And Blender Kit is right here. And here's my Blender Kit profile. That's just me, phoenixafterashes@outlook.com. If you ever want to email me some kind of questions about my add-ons or tutorials, no big deal. I get notifications right on the computer for that. Now you can change your plan right here. Mine's currently saying free, and this is for the example purpose so you guys can see what's going on. You can also get brushes, which I have lived and died for the brushes. Anytime I can use them, it's wonderful. Now, you'll also get this status bar up here, and you can minimize this or you can bring it out. Now, this is going to start off with finding models, materials, scenes, HDRs, which is really cool, and brushes. Then you can search for them. So if you type in a search and you say something like ground because you're on materials, I'm not on materials. Let me just copy that because I don't want to lose it. So I'll click on materials and hit enter. Now this should pop up. It's very seamless. I haven't found any bugs. There is one or two little conflicts, but I'm pretty sure it's just Blender 4.0 and being new. So you can minimize that with the eyeball right here. You can bookmark certain assets, and you can check out the different categories. There's quite a few. I can click through stone, flooring, all these things, and it's going to dynamically update that list for you right here with color rendered icons, which is really cool because I create add-ons too, and so I know what it takes behind the scenes to make this work, and it's a lot. So it's very good they do that. Now from here, I can check my bookmarks, I could check my assets, and I don't have anything bookmarked, so I'm actually just gonna go back and let's grab something. And I don't want to search my bookmarks. There we go. And I'm just gonna grab something like this one right here, and I want to add this to the bookmarks. So I'm just gonna come over here and bookmark that. And now when I come back over to my bookmarks, I'm going to have those saved assets so I do not have to go searching across the planet to find that one thing. So that's bookmarked. Now it's one of my specific assets, and I can drag and drop that right here. And we can switch over to material preview. And voila, I've got a great ground texture right here. Now, I'm going to switch off the bookmarks, and I don't have anything in my assets. But if I did, it works the exact same way. And also, don't forget, if you have bookmark select, just deselect it right here. This is a Boolean checkbox behind that in the programming. So all you have to do is uncheck that to get back to your assets. Now, right now, I'm looking for textures, both procedural and texture-based. So procedural, I could click here. These are going to hog a little bit of memory. Texture-based are not too bad either, but they'll get a little bit of memory. So I'm looking at royalty-free, any, or Creative Commons 0. So look at these in that manner, and then you can isolate what you're looking for. All right, now let's come over and search for models. It's going to be pulling up something. We can make a fruit basket. I'm going to type in basket, and we'll just get something here. The eyeball thing does work, and it didn't before in one of the previous versions, so I'm glad that works now. And make sure nothing's checked that I don't want. Very good. So I'm just going to grab this basket. This looks really good. These should come into scale, and since I'm in the Eevee engine, this thing is going to just come in with the textures and everything's unwrapped. So we don't want to mess around with UV wrapping. I don't really do UV wrapping very much. It's a pain. So let's pull in some fruit and just drop it in. It's pretty simple. It's just going to snap. You can snap anywhere you want. So just drop it in the basket and then just kind of move that thing over. I've got snap on, so it's going to work pretty good. Now I can bring in some more fruit and snap that in as well. And it's just maybe take a different view here. There we go. And go ahead and bring that down so it looks like it's somewhat to scale. And let's bring in some other stuff, shall we? And just kind of build up a nice little basket here. And it's just really quick and easy. You don't have to continuously model everything out. It's just not the idea of 3D at all. You're supposed to have assets, and I'm going to take a top view here again. Just start arranging these things. My snap's doing some funny stuff here. I think we got something checked on, like align rotation to target, which is not going to help. Okay, that's a lot better. All right, this looks good. My basket's a little deep. I'm not going to fill the whole thing up, but I will dupe this a few times here so you can just see. And the texture on the apple is rich. It's exceptional, actually. I really like that. There we go. Because apples come in different sizes, so we want to make things look a little bit different than the other. All right. That looks pretty good. So all in all, you can make a lot of different things. So let's get rid of all of that, and let's throw a scene in. This is like one of my most favorite things to do. Oh, well, actually, I'll start with a monkey head first. Because this one already has the UV on it, so we can just throw a texture. And I think I'll just sub this down a couple times. So that's what I gotta do. I'm gonna shade it smooth so it looks nice. And just watch how easy this is. Ridiculous. So let's type in something for like Rusty. Yeah, the AO. There we go. Okay, so with this, it'll take a second. You'll see like a little status load bar sometimes. And just give it a moment. And my patience is about as good as anyone's. There we go. Now it's there. And that is a gorgeous material because the Suzanne already had a UV map, so it just kind of grabbed it. You'll have some extra features if you want to go in and change some things. You'll be able to do that. Probably a good idea not to do too much unless you understand procedural textures, but you do have the option to do so, which is cool. So we'll just go ahead and get rid of that. And I'll bring in a scene now. And so we'll switch over to scene. This tab is chock full of different things you can choose. And I'm just going to type in house because that's a pretty simple example. And you just drop that into the scene and let it go. You can either append it in or linked. If you do it linked, I'm not sure. I don't think you're going to be able to mess with too much of it. But if you append it in and just give it a second, then you'll be able to move things around inside of that model and do some personal modifications or whatever you might want. Got a status bar here where it's loading. And so you'll be able to see that, and then it'll come in. You'll have to give it just a second for textures and other things to load up. But once it's loaded in, then you can kind of move around inside of that and make it, just make it your own. Looks like a bunch of images as planes. So that's cool. And we'll go in and look inside of the model in just a second. I'm just going to let it finish loading up. And inside of here, make sure to give these guys a rating because they put a lot of work into this thing, and you'll be able to see some information on it. I think you might even be able to contact them, but make sure to give it a rating and don't do a poo 1 star because nobody likes that. There's a lot of people just beginning in Blender And sometimes they do upload to this, and so just, try to be kind, because everybody's trying to learn. And if you're a craft master, just have some mercy on people. Now let's check this thing out. I think we're looking good inside and everything's loaded. It's a full scene. I mean, this is a gorgeous setup. It's very easy on the resources for the 3D viewport. I think you're going to have a wonderful time going in here, and I believe that we can go into cycles as well and check out cycles, but it's going to be much slower, a little choppy, and it's going to come in with the denoiser on. Apparently the denoiser is on already, and so it's going to have some scene settings from the creator, whoever made this, so just keep that in mind also. And I give that just a second. There we go. Yeah, and the denoise on, so we could turn that off, and that's a little more grainy, but still it kind of looks a little bit better. It's a little better for visualizing quickly. I like how everything looks. It's very nice. There'll be some different things I'm going to check just to see if my settings are actually turned on, because I don't do a lot of renders. I've been doing a lot of add-ons lately, so I'm just going to go in and check that. Let's see, where is it? There we go. System. Excuse me. Yeah, so we're on. Everything's good. Yeah, that's really nice. I like that texture. The lighting's already being done inside, so everything looks good there. Yeah, nice. A lot of images as planes. Very cool. Go ahead and delete that. Get that out of there. Now, what we can also do is go into my favorite thing, the brushes. HDRIs are very self-explanatory. You guys can drop those in. Takes a lot of memory anyways. I'm not going to go that route. Got the old vintage modifier menu here. I'll have a link in the comments. You guys can grab that. It's going to throw on a little sculpting multi-tiers, so we can do a couple things, add a couple subs. I like this one. This is really good, and it's super easy to model like this and just be a sculpting pro in a couple of clicks effectively. It's extremely easy to sculpt in Blender. They've made it very easy. A lot of upgrades, a lot of things I would like to cover right now, but I'm just going to kind of show you Blender Kit and what you can do. I like pulling this out when I'm modeling, or rather when I'm sculpting. You have all your different brushes and options kind of right there. So we can be a pro in 1 or 2 seconds. It's so nice how that stitches out like that. That's really cool. Yeah, that's really nice. Maybe add one more sub to that just to clean it up. I like that. Now we can switch the brush, and it's kind of locked in to the Blender Kit brush, so I'm going to have to take that out. Yeah, okay, yeah, so it's locked in, and see. I have not been in the sculpting tab for a while, as you can see. Let's just click new, there we go. And once I've got that new, I think we can left click to place that brush, and then it's, as far as I remember, it's like shift. There we go. And shift will clean it up, kind of clean up the corners and almost erase it, if you will. So you can do back and forth without shift, and then with it, and then just do some cleanup, and that's really nice. So I really like how the Blender Kit is so quick and so easy to use. And jump back out, and there you go. That is some really cool way to do it. You can do a lot here in the actual add-on end panel. There's a lot, like the same thing that's up there is down here. It's going to show you what object is, what the name is, even though it's a sphere, it's called cube because it's a quad cube. You'll have some different things in here where you can, you could log in from the end panel, you can log out, you can choose different material the brushes, materials, HRIs, all that stuff can be chosen from the end panel as well, which is really cool. There's one more thing I wanted to do. I just want to see, I think they've fixed everything in Blender Kit, so I'm having a real hard time finding any problems. But whenever you would go to materials, and I'm just going to load up any basic material here, and once that is loaded, then I'm going to see if I can get the glitch here, because what it really is whenever a material doesn't load, you'll get a little status bar that has no progress on it, and that status bar can be X'd out. So I'm just going to drop the material. Got to give it a second, move over to, yeah, I'm going to close all this stuff up so I can see if that bar shows up. And usually at the bottom there was a little status bar. Let's move over to EV Engine and just take a look. Not doing it because those materials are backed by the server. So if that ever does happen, you'll see a little tiny thing at the bottom. You could just exit out and it'll go away. And then you won't have that problem. It'll make it really easy. So you could pick up this add-on. Go over to that website. You can support me with a like and a subscribe. You can go check out my add-ons on the Blender market. I really appreciate it because I am not getting paid for this. Peace out. Appreciate you guys. See you in the next one.